measure out at? What did you measure out at today?
I was 6'4", 234.5, and I don't remember the rest, to be honest.
Andrew, have you made the decision on whether you're going to throw this week?
Yeah, I'm not going to throw at the combine. I'll participate in all the other drills, the running, the jumping, the L, the 5-10-5. I was told earlier that there's something out there that teams had advised me not to throw, and that was not the case. I made the decision by myself. I bounced it off my agent and my father, and felt like it was in my best interest to wait to the pro day, so we'll go from there.
So Andrew, now that you're here in Indy, are you looking at real estate yet?
No, it's a little premature to do that, I think.
Is it uncomfortable?
Yeah, I think I'm not too caught up in that right now. I understand that is a possibility. I understand how much, Peyton was my hero growing up. He was my football hero. That's who I wanted, who I modeled myself after, in high school, middle school, whatever it was. But, so you never truly replace a guy like that. And who knows what happens? Who knows what happens? So many different things can happen. But I'm not thinking about it too much right now.
How much have you interacted with him?
I've been down to the Manning camps the past 2 summers. It was a great experience, great to see all the Mannings. I did talk to him after I made my decision to come back to school last year for advice, because obviously he went through a very similar situation. Got a couple texts through the season, but other than that, not much.
How much, if at all, has that come up in the interviews with the teams about the situation?
Not much, to be honest. I think last night was really my first opportunity for the train stop, sort of informal interviews. It didn't come up too much.
You think this is between you and RG3? Is this sort of like a duel to see who gets picked first?
I don't think so. I think the great thing about football, it's a team game. It's a team game, and I think Robert's a great quarterback, a great competitor, a great guy, really easy to get along with. But I don't get motivation by competing against him for something. I think it's different things, and I don't think it's one player versus another by any means.
What do you think of it?
Important to be number one?
Well, absolutely. I think everybody wants to be number one, but not at the expense of another person. If that makes sense.
What do you think of RG3's game?
What do I think of RG3's game? It's fun to watch, fascinating. He's athletic, he's explosive, he can make a lot of throws. It's very fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. How much time did you guys have together just to sit down and talk about this entire process, just a little one-on-one situation?
Yeah, not much. We were together at the Heisman stuff in Florida for some of those award ceremonies, but obviously this situation, we were still focusing on college football then, and we've both been so busy. It's hard to really get 15 minutes to yourself in this whole combine process, so not much at all.
How much is it at all uncomfortable?
With no resolution yet to the Manning situation, is it at all uncomfortable for you walking into this situation having to answer the questions?
No, I understand, the questions have to be asked. Of course, it's part of it. I understand the speculation. And in my mind, too, nothing's happened yet. I haven't been drafted by any team. And obviously, with Peyton, that's still going on with the Colts. So, it's not uncomfortable. I understand, the questions have to be asked.
Coach, how about your Stanford round? It's not been the 49ers round coach of the year. Obviously, that's no surprise to you. How much has he talked to you when he was there or this year about the NFL experience and kind of proved that?
No, absolutely. He's been an unbelievable resource ever since coming out of high school to dealing with college and the things that come with being a quarterback and maybe getting a little more attention than other people, because he obviously been there, done that before, and I definitely stay in touch with him. I've called and asked for advice on certain things, text him, and I'm not surprised at all of the success he's had with San Francisco. It's very well deserved, but he's a great resource to have, and I feel very fortunate to be able to have been coached by him.
Andrew, how much do you think the extra year at Stanford helped you? Did your game progress that much more?
Oh, absolutely. I think first of all I had fun with it, which was a big deal to me, and then I learned a lot about football. I don't think I'd be as prepared as I am now, for what may come next. Just in terms of X's and O's, and it never hurts to get more experience under your belt, I think. Outside of football, I think you're surrounded by great people. Whether they're trying to cure cancer, they're great musicians, entrepreneurs, millionaires at age 21 by their own companies. I think you're surrounded by a lot of great people. Yeah, absolutely. If I had the opportunity to learn from a guy like that, of course you're going to take advantage of it. Absolutely.
What is it about the Raiders to work to find a weapon?
Yeah, I know it's terribly cliche, but I think you can never settle. Never settle on any point in your game. But I think for me, it's been just sort of quickening everything up in terms of release. I know those extra milliseconds count, especially in the NFL when guys are so much faster, stronger, bigger. And then just making sure my drops are rhythmic, perfect every time, and being consistent in that area.
Andrew, you said the train stop started last night. Did you meet with Colts at all?
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to them for a little bit. So
Who'd you meet? Did you say who you met with?
I talked to Coach Christensen for a couple minutes.
Andrew, why didn't you come out last year?
I think I had one. There's still a challenge left in college football for me. I felt like there's still more to go out and prove. Two, I wanted to get that step closer to the degree. It was a big deal for me. I didn't want that looming over me per se, in an off season after a professional season. And then three, I enjoyed my buddies. I enjoyed the team. I enjoyed Stanford. I want to go back and do it again with them for another year.
Have you graduated?
I have not. I have 2 classes left in the spring that I'll go back starting April 1st and finish up and graduate in June.
Andrew, people are calling you one of the most NFL-ready quarterbacks in the last 20 years, the best one since Peyton Manning. How are you handling those expectations?
Well, I think it's obviously flattering when people have nice things to say about you. But I realize that at the end of the day, it is an opinion, and not to discredit or discount any of those opinions, but it just sort of has to flow off your back like water, because the game can change so quick, and you can get caught behind whatever that may be. So I realize I can't pay attention to it, keep my head down, work hard.
Do you ever wish that the expectations? Your dad giving you in this process, creating this quarterback in certain years back in Cleveland. But what guidance has he given you?
Yeah, he's been great. Obviously he's I think like Coach Harbaugh, a great resource to have. He's been through this situation. He's been around sports business my whole life. So I feel he knows a lot of people in the business. And if he can't answer a question, I know he knows someone a phone call away that can. But on top of that, he's been a great dad with just fatherly advice. So he's been invaluable.
Andrew, did Coach Harbaugh say anything to you about playing at Indianapolis? Are you familiar at all with his career when he did play here?
I am familiar with Captain Comeback. I know he had a great experience here, but no, we haven't really talked about the city much.
Did you ever wind up working with Alex Smith during the lockout?
No, I did not. I had a chance to meet him a couple times. Their facilities are 15 minutes away from ours, but I didn't have a chance.
Andrew, besides your dad and Coach Harbaugh, what other quarterbacks did you look up to growing up? Quarterbacks that you emulate?
I think Elway, just because the Stanford connection as well. Then actually this past sort of 2 years, all the quarterbacks at Stanford really sat down and tried to watch as much NFL film as we can and try to take bits and pieces of like Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and see what they do, why they're successful, and try and apply it to our game. And obviously you can't take everything, because what they do is light years beyond some of us. And hopefully someday I can be up there with them, but try and take bits and pieces of what the successful guys are doing.
You talk about being up there with Harbaugh and his history here. He's got his name in the Ring of Honor here. I guess you knew that.
I was aware of that, yeah.
Has he ever talked to you about, this is what I do here again, his experience or not?
No, he hasn't. He's a humble guy, so he won't laud himself. He won't, as he calls it, shameless self-promotion. Yeah. No, I know he's obviously busy with the Broncos and putting together his draft class. And I have the opportunity probably twice a year to see him when he comes out to campus for different things, but we haven't had a chance to talk to him in recent memory. Yeah, no, he talked, I think, a lot about why he thought they didn't win those first couple Super Bowls he was in. And it was because they were thinking too big picture. So I think there's always focus on that next play. What are you going to do the first play of the game to help you win? After that play, it's what's about the second play. Yeah, I've run across him probably twice a year when he's around. Coach Shaw and Coach Pep Hamilton, our quarterback coach, they'll invite him and he'll come into a meeting about once a year and sit down and then really just talk, X's and O's with us. And it's great for not only me but the younger quarterbacks as well in the program to see Hall of Famer or Super Bowl winner, to talk football. And nothing really comes to mind right now, but it's a lot of just X's and O's and good grinding on ball.
Hey Andrew, Robert Griffin said that if the Colts drafted him and Peyton Manning was still here, he'd hold the clipboard with
Oh, absolutely. You gotta. I think I said this earlier. When you have a chance to learn from a guy like Peyton Manning, if that chance arises, you better take advantage of it. He's arguably the best quarterback ever. I mean, he was my hero growing up. So yeah.
Posey, Ohio State, wide receiver, table 7.
And do you ever wish the expectations maybe were a little lower? There's obviously a lot of pressure because people call you the best quarterback to come out in decades. Do you ever wish it was just a little bit managed?
No, I think I set fairly high expectations for myself, and don't really get involved in what other people set for me per se. Besides my parents, families, people I truly care about. So no, it doesn't bother me.
Is available at
You've
Podium
had
A.
success in the last 3 years at Stanford. What's prepared you for maybe the first or second year in the NFL not being successful going to a team that's rebuilt? Wherever that might be.
I think you still want to win. I'm not going to say hope we don't lose any games at all first couple of years or whatever situation comes up. But I realize it's a sport. Things happen, and you got to learn from your mistakes and move on from stuff.
Peyton was 3-13 as a rookie, so you just have to learn from whatever the situation is.
Absolutely.
And fewer and fewer college teams are using a pro-style offense. You utilize the tight end as a fullback. How much do you think that's going to help?
Well, I definitely think it'll help. I think Coach Shaw, his background with the NFL, Coach Harbaugh, obviously his background with the NFL, I think it prepared not only me, but the other guys you see here at the Combine, like DeCastro, Martin, Fleener, Owusu, some guys, Delano Howell, who aren't here yet. I think they challenged us, intellectually, mentally, as well as physically to run the scheme. I think, guys did a good job of stepping up, and I know I loved it. I know I loved having run checks and pass checks and all that stuff. So, and I think it'll help me in the long run. Yeah. I think improved on general knowledge of the game. I think I sharpened up a lot of my skills. I think a great thing about football is, after in college, the game's Saturday. You can't really rest on your laurels that long because you have to prove yourself the next Saturday, and you keep proving yourself every week. And I think you did a good job. I think we showed that Stanford can win consistently, and that's that was a big part of coming back. So yeah.
Last question, guys.
Can my beard make a comeback? That's the last question? Who knows?
All right, thank you guys.
Way to end it.